Hello everybody, good afternoon. Hope you all keeping well in this COVID-19 pandemic. This Excel spreadsheet is all about financial statements, so it's based on operations, it's financing, the balance sheet, the income and the cash flows. So they're all in 5 separate sheets, and to start off I'm going to be starting the operations sheet. These are just the figures that do not need to be calculated. These are just details that we'll include in the sum function tables. So inventory, the clock sales percentages, accounts payable, receivable, depreciation and investment, and minimum cash balance. Okay, here's where I need to calculate. Before I start calculating, let's read the note on the bottom of the sheet. It says that there is a timing issue when comparing a balance sheet to an income statement, because the balance sheet is at a point in time, whereas the income statement is cumulative over the preceding year. It is most natural to predict assets and liabilities based on the average of the income statement items over the same equals preceding year and the following year. Okay. So our average sales will be the fourth step to calculate. That is correct answer. Okay, the average costs is the next step. COGS percentages of sales, C6 and 7, B6 and 7. That's good so far. So inventory is the next step to calculate. Okay, minimum cash balance is the next step to calculate. Accounts receivable is the next step to calculate. And then accounts payable will be the last step to calculating the operation sheet. Okay, so that's operation sheet now complete. Financing is going to be the next sheet to go on to. These are just figures that will include in the sum function tables that will be calculated in this sheet. So long-term debt will be the first one to start on the finance sheet. Okay, bank notes payable is the next step. So let's now calculate the total of the finance sheet. Okay, now we're going to go down. That's the beginning of the cash balance. There's none so far because B32 has not been calculated just yet. So let's go calculate the plus cash flow from ops, invests, and finance. Fortunately, there's no figures in yet because I'll have to. Those figures will not be calculated yet because the cash flow sheet is blank. No, nothing is calculated on the cash flow sheet yet. Okay, let's move on and calculate the ending cash balance. Just beginning cash balance plus cash flow from ops, invests, and financing. Less minimum cash balance required. Okay, excess cash is the next step. And there is a note saying that it is undesirable to hold excess cash when there are banknotes outstanding. The cash should be used to reduce the bank loan. To do this, minimize the present value of the interest expense subject to excess cash being given. No negative. Click on Solve from the Tools menu, click on Solve the next box that appears, and click OK. That's not important. What is important is that I need to find the actual sum function table on calculating the present value of interest and banknotes. So this is involving the net present value. The answer is €11.10. That's very good. So next sheet is to go into balance sheet. Okay, cash will be the first step to calculating the balance sheet. Inventory is the next step. Accounts receivable is the next step. That's very good. Now calculate and find out what is their total current assets. Which is cash, inventory, and accounts receivable all together. Okay, gross property, plant and equipment is the next sum function table to calculate. Alright, very good. Let's accumulate depreciation. Net property, plant and equipment is the next one. Simply adding B11 and B12 together. That's a simple one. Okay, I'll go and calculate one last one before I continue in the next video to calculate the next three after total assets. So calculate total assets, which is basically B9 plus B13 all together. Well, to current assets plus net property, plant and equipment. Right, so I will calculate accounts payable, banknotes payable, and total current liabilities, and finish off the balance sheet in the next video. So I hope you all enjoyed that so far. So I hope you all have a great afternoon. Wash your hands, stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a great day. Adios.